Thorpe Park here on the outskirts of London is home to some of the biggest and craziest thrill rides in the United Kingdom. It's also home to some mistakes too, which begs the question, what are the best 10 rides here at Thorpe Park? Of course, it is a matter of opinion, but as it is a glorious evening here at the island like no other, I thought I'd make a little video. So here are the top 10 rides at Thorpe Park Resort according to Coaster Wave. At number 10 is the awkwardly titled The Walking Dead The Ride. It's 5 words and 2 of them are the, but nonetheless this is quite a fun indoor roller coaster. It's had a few iterations now. It was X No Way Out, which was a slightly awkward backwards roller coaster. It was in X, which I really enjoyed. They made it a forwards roller coaster again, took out the weird braking elements and just basically turned it into a rave. You have lasers and trance music. Can't go wrong with that. But in its current iteration, it's themed around the popular TV show The Walking Dead. So that means zombies and dystopia and all that kind of thing. The roller coaster is quite simple, but as with all indoor roller coasters, sometimes the simple ones work really well because there's just something special about riding roller coasters in the dark. And this has got some nice little theming set pieces as well, including a section where your car breaks down, you chug a few times trying to get it started again, a zombie kind of leaps at you from a screen and you just get moving again in the nick of time. So it's pretty good fun, but I do think it is the weakest of the kind of the bigger roller coasters here at Thorpe Park. At number 9 is a roller coaster that I'll be honest, I've not been a fan of for a long time, but I know for a lot of people it's their favourite roller coaster here. So I'm expecting a few people to click off the video now when I mention that number 9 is Saw the Ride. Now, I'm not going to dispute that the theming is really cool. They've done a fantastic job there as a horror themed roller coaster based around a film series. I think they land all the major aspects that they need to. It's a shame that it takes the torture device idea a bit too literally with how it rides, because this thing always gives me a headache. That being said, the indoor section is quite cool. You have a little drop, you go through some traps, then you do an inversion above a body that squirts blood at you, which is it's not very nice really. But once you get outside, it starts to go downhill, both figuratively and literally, as you ascend a 100-foot vertical lift. And I'll be honest, I've never been a fan of vertical lifts. Straight down the beyond vertical drop and then into a sequence of elements that include an Immelman, you've got a dive loop in there, a mid-course brake run which hasn't had the brakes on it for about a decade now, so you absolutely fly over there. But for me, and it's not even like it's rough, it's just the elements just seem to send my brain into the roof of my head, and I just come off with a headache that often ruins my day. So I'll only ride it very occasionally these days, but if you enjoy it, then fair play to you. Number 8 is an absolute soaker, and that is Tidal Wave. Again, a ride that I don't tend to go on that often, simply because we don't often have the weather for it here, because this will get you soaked from head to toe. It is a total drencher. That being said, I think it's also one of the nicest themed rides here at the park. The whole Amity area is really nice. I think it looks amazing on a hot summer's day. The splash zone creates a sort of interactive aspect for those not on ride either, who maybe still want to get wet or just enjoy the fun, and go on holidays of the nasty Dr. Pepper sponsorship as well. So it's kind of back looking really good, and even if I don't ride it, it's such a spectacle to view from off-ride that I'm glad that it's here at Thorpe Park. I think a worthy spot at number 8. In terms of the ride experience, it's very straightforward. You go up, you go around a bend, you come back down again, and you create a ginormous splash, which if you're on one of the boats is like being hit by a solid wall of water. Number 7 is another roller coaster that is maligned by many for not being the most comfortable, and that is Colossus. Now, Colossus was the first roller coaster in the UK to go upside down 10 times, and of those inversions, some of them are pretty good. I quite enjoyed the loop. The Cobra roll is a bit nasty if I'm honest. The corkscrews are nice, and then of course you've got that quadruple barrel roll towards the end of the ride, which is pretty good fun. If you brace yourself and hold on tight, it is not that bad. But if you allow yourself to get flung around a bit, you're probably going to jar your neck a few times on the restraint. That being said, for a roller coaster that is built around having its 10 inversions, I actually think the best moment is the airtime hill that dives under the gift shop. Of course, Colossus also deserves respect for being the roller coaster that kicked off the wave of huge thrill ride investment here at Thorpe Park, opening in 2002 and being sort of the precursor to the likes of many of the other roller coasters that are going to feature on this video. At number 6, get ready for the 4th of July celebrations. So we're going to go up and drop straight back down again on Detonator. This is the park's drop tower. It's a nicely themed ride now that it sits in Big Easy Boulevard, and it's a fun attraction as well. It's quite a forceful drop. Depending on where you sit, you get some really nice views of the park, including stealth or looking down on Nemesis Inferno, and it's a ride that I just always enjoy getting on. Like I say, fierce drop, breaks right near the end, and occasionally you don't even get the full countdown, so it just catches you off guard completely. Number 5 on this list is the very fun and quite intimidating screaming swing that is Rush. Now this is a ride that intimidates a lot of people purely because it's essentially a giant swing with a very small lap bar to hold you in, but that just makes it all the more exciting for me. It feels like you're going to get launched out of the vehicle on the upswing, and when you're facing back down at the ground, it's absolutely terrifying. The downside to this is it's not running the greatest cycle these days. Quite often you only get 1 or 2 full swings and the rest are kind of only midway. It takes a long time to cool off at the end as well, so you're sat there waiting for your restraints to be popped for quite some time. But in its day, Rush was an absolutely fantastic flat ride. I still think it's the best flat ride here at the park, and I always enjoy a ride on Rush, or any screaming swing for that matter. I think they're one of the best flats out there. They're just fierce, fun, and a little bit scary. And we're erupting into number 4 with Nemesis Inferno, a ride that probably shouldn't carry the Nemesis name, but is nonetheless a ride of volcanic proportions. That doesn't even really makes sense. Anyway, this is obviously heavily inspired by the B&M inverted coaster up at Thorpe's sister park, Alton Towers, and this does everything you want from a B&M invert. It's got a decent pre-drop section as you swoop through the volcano, through some lights and smoke effects. The drop is solid. You've got a really forceful loop which takes you straight up into a really cool 0G roll. There's some tight helices on here, and then you have those interlocking double corkscrews at the end, which are a fantastic visual element and also provide plenty of whip on ride as well. You end with another really big sweeping helix into the brakes. That pulls tons of force as well. And this is just a really good inverted roller coaster. I think sometimes it gets slept on a little bit because I think it's probably in the top 5 inverted coasters that I've ridden. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it feels like this ride gets better and better the older it gets. And I really hope, based on how other recent B&M retracks have gone, that this stays as it is for as long as possible. Before we head into the top 3, if you enjoy these types of videos, then please give it a like, give it some hype, and subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see loads more here from my visit to Thorpe Park. We're heading to a dystopian future for number 3 on this list, and that is The Swarm, Thorpe Park's B&M wing coaster themed to aliens picking you up the ground and chucking you about for a bit. Not only is this probably the best themed roller coaster here at Thorpe Park, arguably one of the best in the country for that matter, it's also just really good. Sitting either side of the track means you get 2 different types of experiences, and the dive loop drop on both sides is fantastic. I think sitting on the right hand side and going over the track is my preference, but sitting underneath and just having the kind of the bottom drop out of the car is equally as entertaining. The drop underneath the plane wing is spectacular and such a stunning visual piece of theming. And then you've still got another 3 inversions, including a really hang time centric 0G roll, a corkscrew, and an inline twist over the station building towards the end. This is just a really good roller coaster, one of B&M's best wing coasters in my opinion. In fact, of all those I've ridden, I think only Phoenix over at Toverland tops it, and as an all-round package, this is just spectacular. It's also got some really good tight near misses as well, and there's something that I think is often underappreciated in a lot of roller coasters. At night, this is also an absolute banger too, so if you get a chance to come down here during Scarefest, don't miss out on riding The Swarm. At number 2 is the fastest accelerating roller coaster in the world. It is of course Stealth. Now this launches you straight out of the gate to 80 miles per hour in less than 1.8 seconds, which is frankly bonkers, and you feel that speed when you're on the ride to the absolute maximum. And I love this ride to bits, which is why it's at number 2. You're then blasted along a straight section of track and up a 205-foot top hat. You can get some nice airtime at the top, including some fantastic views of the park around you before you plummet back down to earth, fly over a bunny hop, and then hit the brakes just slightly earlier than perhaps you'd like. If you got the full force of that hill, I think it would be an even better roller coaster. But even still, Stealth sitting in the Amity Speedway, 50s and 60s rock music blaring out all around you, is just a fantastic and spectacular ride. Plus I love the dichotomy that it's sat directly in front of the Sunken Gardens, which is perhaps the most relaxed area in Thorpe Park. And number 1, you knew it was coming, Pete. It is of course Hyperia, the UK's tallest and fastest roller coaster, and the Golden Goddess herself is in fact my number 1 roller coaster in the whole of the United Kingdom. And what it lacks in theming, it makes up for in epic soundtrack, epic scale, and truly epic elements. Beginning of course with that magnificent twisting first drop, which absolutely yeets you out of your seat. You've then got one of the best sequence of elements on a roller coaster anywhere in the world, in my opinion, with the Immelman, followed by the outer bank turn, followed by the dive loop stall. You're out of your seat for so many different reasons, either through pure fierce airtime or just dangling upside down. But don't sleep on that outer bank airtime hill towards the end either, because depending on where you sit on the train, that can send you flying as well. This is just a masterpiece by Mack Rides. I think it was a really unique decision by Thorpe Park to go with Mack to build a roller coaster of this scale. It is still, as I record this, by far the tallest roller coaster Mack have ever built. Other parks maybe would have gone with B&M, and I think a B&M hypercoaster would have been fantastic too here, by the way. But instead what we got is something that is truly unique. I don't think there's another roller coaster in the world out there that's quite like Hyperia. It has so many weird and wonderful elements, and combined with that truly epic soundtrack from Score, I just absolutely love being in and around the Hyperia Plaza. I love that sensation you get in the station as the train leaves and the music hits and the lights go down. Hyperia is just an absolutely spectacular roller coaster and well worth being the #1 ride here at Thorpe Park Resort. Do you agree with my rankings? Is there something I've left out that you think should have been higher? Maybe Samurai perhaps, or Vortex? Let me know down in the comments below. There are some more videos from Thorpe Park here up on the screen now, and I will catch you soon here on Coaster Wave.